Did Erika Kirk just walk straight into the biggest betrayal of her life, without even realizing it? Because sources say what happened in Romania wasn't just an airport inconvenience, it was the first sign of something much darker. Picture this. Erika, exhausted from travel, stepping off the plane with her usual calm smile, only to be met by stern-faced officials who already seemed to know her name before she even spoke. Witnesses claim the energy shifted instantly, like the room tightened around her, as if someone had set her up long before she arrived. And here's where the hypocrisy starts to sting. People who once praised Erika for her grace and calmness are now whispering behind her back, claiming they saw this coming, even though none of them supposedly lifted a finger to warn her. Meanwhile, insiders are hinting that someone within her own circle may have triggered the entire mess, a betrayal so silent, so calculated, that even Erika didn't notice it until it was too late. Candace Owens' sudden involvement only adds gasoline to the rumor mill, with her cryptic statements suggesting there's more to this story than anyone is ready to admit. But what actually happened, and who's really pulling the strings? The truth is coming, but not yet. Stay with me. Erika Kirk wasn't always the center of an international mystery. In fact, for most of her public life, she was seen as the polished, composed, picture-perfect figure the media loved to showcase. A devoted mother, a well-connected public personality, and someone who spoke openly about values like integrity, faith, and family. Erika built her reputation on being the calm in the storm, the graceful one, in any chaotic conversation. Whether she was appearing at charity events, posting motivational messages on Instagram, or sharing behind-the-scenes glimpses of family trips, she projected an image of stability, almost too stable for the entertainment space she floated around in. But that's exactly why the whispers around her hit harder. Behind that polished image, sources say there have always been cracks, tiny ones, barely visible unless you knew where to look. Close friends once described Erika as trusting to a fault, someone who believed the best in people even when they didn't deserve it. And in the entertainment world, trust can be dangerous. Her rise happened almost accidentally. Years ago, someone reposted one of her speeches about leadership and motherhood, and overnight, she found herself gaining followers, politicians, executives, influencers, even celebrities who admired her poise. She quickly became a recognizable figure in the social media commentary world. The public saw her as elegant, soft-spoken, but also surprisingly well-connected. She would appear in group photos with names that carried weight. She would attend events where insiders whispered more gossip than inspiration. And through it all, Erika kept smiling, insisting she was just there to uplift and educate. Then came her growing friendship with several outspoken, high-profile personalities, including Candace Owens. Their online interactions, joint appearances, and supportive comments painted a picture of loyalty. Under posts where Erika shared family moments, Candace would drop heart emojis or comments like, "A strong woman raising strong children." And Erika would respond with the same warmth, praising Candace's courage or sharing clips of her speeches. To the outside world, it looked like a sisterhood built on shared convictions. But insiders say something shifted recently, weeks before the Romanian incident. The tone of Erika's posts changed. Her captions became more guarded, more formal, less playful. She spoke repeatedly about protecting your peace, being careful who you trust, and outgrowing the wrong people. Some followers thought nothing of it, but others wondered if she was hinting at a conflict behind the scenes. One follower even commented, "Is this about Candace?" Eyes. A comment that mysteriously disappeared within minutes. And then came Erika's last peaceful appearance before everything spiraled. She posted an Instagram story smiling at an airport lounge, holding a coffee, writing, "New country, new memories. God goes before me." The story was meant to be uplifting, but now, in hindsight, it plays like the eerie calm before a storm. Because reportedly, even before that flight took off, conversations were circulating among certain groups about potential concerns attached to Erika's travel. Concerns she didn't seem aware of. Some online investigators claimed they found a tweet, now deleted, from a political commentator referencing Erika's upcoming trip, Not everyone who travels carries clean intentions. Some flights may land with surprises. At the time, nobody connected it to her. Now it's being dissected like a clue in a conspiracy case. What's even stranger is a recent podcast appearance where Candace, smiling tightly, made a comment that now feels loaded. Some people appear to be sweet on the surface, but the stories behind them could shock you. At the time, fans brushed it off as general commentary. But after the restrictions in Romania, people began stitching that clip into TikTok theories, adding captions like, "Was this about Erika?" All of these subtle shifts, these disappearing comments, these cryptic remarks, they form the early threads of a narrative that wasn't obvious until now. Because while Erika's public persona has always been about faith, kindness, and community, the circles she moved in were made up of people who thrive on narratives, attention, and influence. People who know how to use a rumor to shape perception. People who understand that the higher someone rises, the more satisfying it is to watch them fall. Sources close to Erika say she never imagined someone in her own orbit would ever betray her, especially not someone as publicly supported. Sometimes the warning signs are there, but we're too loyal to see them. Was she foreshadowing the ordeal she would face in Romania? Was she hinting at someone close who had already betrayed her? Or was it just another vague motivational quote in a sea of positivity? With everything now happening, that one line feels less like inspiration and more like a cry for help, one she didn't realize she would soon need. What happened next didn't unfold all at once. It came in waves, each one stronger, stranger, and more unsettling than the last. The timeline of events leading up to the Romanian scandal paints a picture that's far more complicated than anyone initially realized and far more personal. It started quietly, almost innocently, a few days before Erika's trip. She reportedly received a message from someone in her circle, a vague, unsettling warning to be mindful while traveling. Sources say she brushed it off as friendly advice, the kind people offer when you're constantly in the public eye. But the tone was strange. It felt rehearsed, as if the sender knew something but didn't want to say it outright. Erika even mentioned it to a friend, calling it cryptic, but probably nothing. Little did she know it was the first clue that something was already in motion. 2 days later, a political commentator posted a video talking about certain influencers who were not what they seemed behind the scenes. Viewers instantly began speculating, but the comment section didn't catch fire until someone wrote, "This sounds like Erika Kirk." The comment gained likes fast, then it mysteriously disappeared. Commenters accused the creator of hiding something, but he claimed he removed it because it was off-topic. That denial only fueled the theories. Then there was Candace. Her shift was subtle at first, a colder tone in interviews, shorter responses to Erika's posts, and what fans described as an energy change during public appearances. On one live stream, when asked about Erika directly, Candace paused longer than usual before saying, "Some people evolve differently than you expect." She didn't elaborate, but the look in her eyes said enough. TikTok sleuths immediately clipped the moment, calling it a red flag the size of Romania. On the morning of her flight, Erika reportedly seemed cheerful, even excited. Airport staff recall her being polite, patient, smiling at fans who recognized her. But behind the scenes, something was happening that she had no idea about. According to an airline insider, alerts were being exchanged prior to landing. Nothing dramatic, but not normal either. Some sort of caution warning tied to her name. When her plane touched down in Romania, the tension began building fast. Witnesses say officials were already positioned near the gate, speaking in hushed tones and glancing at a printed document with Erika's photo on it. One witness claimed, "They looked like they were waiting for her. They weren't reacting, they were preparing." The moment she stepped off the plane, everything changed. What should have been a routine check turned into an unexpectedly long process. She was pulled aside. Her bags were inspected thoroughly. Officials spoke to her quietly but firmly. Her children reportedly asked why everyone seemed worried, and she tried to keep calm, telling them everything was okay. But according to a bystander, her hands were shaking. Within hours, social media exploded. Someone leaked a blurry photo of Erika being escorted by 2 officers, not handcuffed, not detained, but clearly under restriction. The caption read, Erika Kirk stopped at Romanian airport. Developing story. Fans panicked immediately. Comments poured in. What's happening? Why would they do this to her? This feels wrong. Erika doesn't deserve this. Is this about politics? Someone set her up. And then came the comment that lit the match. Candace warned us. Suddenly, people were digging through old clips, old tweets, old interviews, searching for clues, for tension, for anything that hinted at a fallout between the two women. A montage video titled Candace and Erika, the signs were there, went viral, pulling millions of views overnight. Fans pointed out every moment Candace seemed distant, every quote that could apply to Erika, every instance where support turned into silence. Meanwhile, commentators entered the battlefield. Some accused Romania of overreacting. Others insisted they must have had a reason. A few claimed the entire situation was proof of influence wars behind the scenes, a bigger game being played by people who smiled together on camera but waged quiet battles offline. But the most shocking moment came when Candace reportedly made a statement that escalated everything. She didn't name Erika directly but said, "Sometimes people get caught up in situations they created for themselves. And sometimes authorities know things before we do." The internet detonated. Was she talking about Erika? Was she hinting that she knew more? Did she know before Erika did? People accused Candace of betrayal. Others praised her for telling the truth. The divide grew instantly. Team Erika versus Team Candace, each side passionately defending their chosen narrative. Behind the scenes, things were even messier. A source close to Erika revealed she was heartbroken, not just about the restrictions, but about who might have been behind them. She allegedly said, "Someone I trusted knew something and stayed silent." Some insiders whispered that Candace had been contacted by authorities ahead of time. Others claimed someone in Erika's inner circle tipped off officials out of jealousy or ideology. Nobody could verify anything, and that only deepened the suspense. As hours passed, rumors spiraled faster than facts. Screenshots began circulating, some real, some questionable. One alleged message suggested someone had intentionally flagged Erika before her arrival. Another suggested she was targeted due to her associations. Fans didn't know what to believe, but they knew one thing. Something was very, very wrong. And the betrayal, whether personal, political, or something deeper, wasn't just a theory anymore. It was becoming a reality Erika could no longer ignore. What happened in Romania didn't stay in Romania. It followed Erika home, clinging to her reputation like a shadow she couldn't shake off. The consequences were immediate, rippling outward in waves that touched her career, her family, and even her closest friendships. And as each layer peeled back, the public realized this wasn't just a travel inconvenience, it was a scandal with emotional and personal stakes deeper than anyone expected. The moment the airport photo leaked, media outlets ran with it. Headlines like, "Erika Kirk held in Romania under mysterious circumstances and influencer detained?" Questions swirl, popped up everywhere. In less than 24 hours, her name trended across multiple platforms. But the worst part was the speculation, endless, ruthless, twisting her into whatever narrative fit the loudest voices. And as her team scrambled to regain control, Erika reportedly felt the walls closing in. Friends say she barely slept, pacing around hotel rooms while her children asked if they were in trouble. She tried to act calm, but the fear was visible. She was someone who built an entire public persona around stability, kindness, and protection, and suddenly, she couldn't protect her own family from headlines she didn't understand. The legal fallout hit next. Romanian authorities allegedly opened a brief inquiry into her travel documentation and associations. Nothing criminal, nothing dramatic on paper, but the implication alone was damaging. In the world Erika moved in, where appearances matter more than facts, even an inquiry could stain a reputation permanently. One source described it perfectly. In her world, perception is reality. A whisper becomes a question becomes a headline becomes a scar. Her team released a carefully worded statement insisting it was a routine matter and that Erika was cooperating fully. But fans weren't convinced. Some demanded transparency. Others blamed political targeting. And then others blamed Erika herself. That shift was the deepest cut. People who once praised her values, her family-first image, her faith-driven messaging, now accused her of hypocrisy. They said her polished persona didn't match the chaos surrounding her. They dug up past speeches where she talked about accountability and living above reproach, using her own words against her. Commentators mocked her with lines like, "Where's that integrity now?" Funny how values disappear when things get real. The betrayal stung even more because it didn't come only from strangers. It came from people she thought respected her. But the emotional hit that broke her, reportedly, was the shift in Candace's behavior. For years, they stood side by side in public appearances, each validating the other. They clapped for each other's speeches, posted supportive selfies, and built a reputation as aligned voices in the commentary world. To fans, they were sisters in ideology, two women with shared values and a shared mission. But when Erika needed support the most, Candace stayed silent for days. And silence, in situations like this, speaks louder and cuts deeper than any direct attack. When she finally spoke, her comments felt cold, detached, almost rehearsed. She didn't defend Erika. She didn't correct the rumors. She didn't show concern. Instead, she dropped another cryptic line. "People you think you know can surprise you." Fans interpreted it as a betrayal, a deliberate distancing maneuver. Hashtags started circulating. Hashtag Candace knew, hashtag stand with Erika, hashtag fake friends exposed. Behind closed doors, Erika reportedly confronted someone on her team, asking, "Did Candace say something? Did she know something I didn't?" But the answers were vague and unsatisfying. Insiders whispered that Candace had received information ahead of time, that authorities or contacts might have reached out to her before the restrictions happened. If that's true, then the betrayal isn't just personal. It's moral. It's ideological. It's the very definition of someone abandoning you when the storm hits hardest. But the fallout didn't stop there. Certain groups began to distance themselves. A sponsorship paused discussions. A podcast guest appearance was quietly canceled. A conference Erika was scheduled to speak at suddenly updated the lineup, her photo missing without explanation. This was the cost of the scandal, not legal consequences, but social ones. The kind that bleed into every corner of your life. And the emotional toll grew heavier each day. Friends say she felt isolated, paranoid, unsure who to trust. Messages from supporters were comforting, but messages from critics were brutal. Screenshots circulated, claiming to show private conversations about Erika, some real, some fake, all damaging. Rumors emerged that someone inside her inner circle leaked information. Someone she had welcomed into her home. Someone she had trusted with her children around. This wasn't just public humiliation. This was personal devastation. Even her family felt the strain. Her husband reportedly grew frustrated, making calls at all hours trying to clarify the situation. Her children became anxious, asking if they were safe. And Erika herself, the strong, composed woman the public always saw, was reportedly breaking down privately. Her values were being thrown back in her face. Her relationships were unraveling. Her public image was warping into something she didn't recognize. But the biggest consequence wasn't the headlines, the cancellations, or the investigations. It was the realization that someone somewhere had let this happen. Someone who knew. Someone she trusted. Someone who stood next to her smiling for cameras while letting her walk into a disaster. And that realization, that betrayal, is what transformed a travel delay into a full-blown scandal. And honestly, after everything that's come out, who can look at this situation and say it's simple? Romania was just the spark. The real explosion happened afterward. The silence from people who once claimed loyalty. The shifting alliances. The cryptic comments. The mixed statements that only deepened the confusion. And, of course, the emotional toll we've watched unfold piece by piece. Erika went from posting inspirational family photos to reportedly wiping tears behind closed doors, wondering who she could trust, who was speaking the truth, and who was quietly celebrating her downfall. But now I want to hear from you. Do you think Erika was betrayed by someone close to her? Was Candace's reaction just poorly timed, or was it calculated? And if you were in Erika's position, facing a storm of rumors, a silent ally, and a million eyes watching, would you have handled it differently? Because here's the thing, this story is far from over. Sources are whispering that new details could surface any day, details that might finally reveal what really happened in Romania, why Erika was allegedly restricted, and who knew it before everything blew up. And let's just say, if even half of those whispers turn out to be true, the next chapter might be even more explosive than the last. So don't just watch, join the conversation. Drop your thoughts in the comments, tell me whose side you're on, and share this with someone who's been following the drama as closely as you have. And make sure you're subscribed and following because trust me, the next update, you're not going to want to miss it.